You're listening to the Served Up Show, a podcast that features inspiring beverage professionals and topic experts that share their passions through meaningful content. Your hostesses, Bridget Albert, is best known as the Market Fresh Mixologist, an industry mentor with over 25 years of experience. And I'm Julie Milroy, best known for my passion for leading change and helping others grow in their careers. Grab a cocktail and sit back. Let's learn how we can make a positive impact in our industry.
Hey y'all, it's Bridget here. We are so excited to be at the upcoming New York City Wine and Food Festival. This is a star-studded 4-day event showcasing the talents of the world's renowned chefs, wine and spirit experts, and more. The Served Up team will be in the middle of the action. Stay tuned for more info about the New York City Wine and Food Festival at the end of this show. I had the pleasure of chatting with the owner of Agave Forte, David Grapshi. He has a true passion for tequila. His dedication to the beverage industry started 25 years ago in positions in both liquor supply and distribution. Since then, Dave has created a widespread network of contacts, both stateside and abroad, especially pushing tequila to new heights. He remains a force in the production, distribution, and importation of Mexico's oldest and finest labels. Grapshi brought the brands of Siete, Leguas, Herradura, and El Jimador into the fold of nationally recognized household name brands. He's played a crucial role with Gemini Spirits and Wine and the Corazon Barrel Expression Project, which barrel-aged exceptional Blanco tequilas using Buffalo Trace's antique collection bourbon barrels. David is also one of the founders of TAG Global Spirit Awards, and he shared his journey in the beverage industry as well as how the TAG Global Spirit Awards came to be and what's to come. So sit back, grab yourself a glass of your favorite tequila, and enjoy the show. Dave, welcome to Served Up. I am so excited to have you on the show today.
My pleasure, Bridget. Been looking forward to this all week, actually.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I would love for you to tell our listeners a bit about your journey. And I want to take it all the way back to the beginning. And so if you can tell our listeners how you started off in the beverage world, really, take us through your path.
Sure. Well, I have to say the beginning was purely accidental. So I moved to California in 1971, made very good friends with someone I played softball with, and we're still very best of friends today. And I had a go nowhere sort of job, and I was not very happy with it. I'm all about passion. If I'm passionate about something, I'll stick it out. Okay. And he said, I have a friend in the wine business. Maybe you should go talk to him. I said, I don't know anything about wine. He said, go talk to him anyway. And I did. And sure enough, he said, you know nothing about wine. So he suggested that I go to work for like a Gallo or United Vintners, somebody like that, sort of entry level. And I did. And it was a great, great experience. I got hired. And I spent the first 6 years working for a company out of San Francisco, had a East Bay territory. And so I have to tell you a little bit about when the business first started. When I first got into it, there was a law on the books, and it was called fair trade. Okay, just like milk is fair trade. So you couldn't sell below a retail price. And that changed about 1976, I think. And everything went absolutely, completely berserk. I went from selling bottles to selling containers because I lived 2 blocks away from the headquarters of Long's Drugs, which is now CBS, part of CBS. Mm-hmm. And I was very, very close with those people. As a matter of fact, I played softball on their softball team. And so I was in, so to speak. So obviously I got to meet some wonderful, wonderful people, but but yeah, it's come a long way from the early days. So from there, would you like me to continue? And
please. We started off in the 70s. Take us to the 80s, 90s, up where we are today. Want to hear it all.
Okay. So from there, I went to work for a couple of other smaller distributors. And the reason I kept moving is because there was a consolidation going on at the time. So the bigger companies kept getting bigger by buying out smaller companies. So when I first started in Northern California, there were about 20 some odd wholesalers. And today there's like 3. That gives you an idea of what happened in terms of consolidation. So in about 1983, I went to work as a supplier. So I'm working as a supplier, and I get a job offer from then the president of Southern Wine and Spirits in Northern California, Marcus Friedland. And he said, I would love for you to come work for the company as a division manager. And I asked him, I said, well, what territory? What do you want me to do? He said, the East Bay. Didn't realize when he said the East Bay, he meant from the Oregon border down to Fresno.
Oh my gosh. So he meant, the whole East Bay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were starting out in those days. Southern was a much, much smaller company. And, but it was a great, great company to work for way back when. A lot of great people were brought into the picture. And one of my sort of idols in the business, or somebody I admired a lot, was a gentleman by the name of Vince Martin. I must mention his name. He's no longer with us today. Vince was the president. He took over from Marcus Friedland. He was the president of Southern Wine and Spirits of Northern California. And then eventually Jack Brennan took that role. And I didn't realize it at the time, but Vince he's somebody who pushed me out of my comfort zone all the time. And it really bugged me because I was very comfortable in doing what I was doing. I had a beautiful team of about 12 salespeople that I had built. I'd hired pretty much most of them. And then all of a sudden he moves me into a different role in the company. And I asked him why. He said, I really need you there. But at the time I didn't realize I sort of didn't realize what he was doing is he was actually making me grow because even though it wasn't something I was comfortable with, I learned a lot about calling on chains because he put me in to the chain department. And then from there, he took me out of the chain department and put me in as a division manager for the on-premise. I never had any on-premise experience up until that point. And then years later, I realized, that he was really helping me in my career. So, miss him all the time. I mean, he was just a great guy. I'll fast forward a little bit. My last job with a company was with Sazerac. And at Sazerac, I had a bunch of different roles. I started out as a division manager in 10 Western states, built a small team of managers that managed different areas. And I had a great, great boss. His name was Bill Pananis, and Bill is no longer with us today as well. And he became a very, very dear friend and someone who pushed me out of my comfort zone as well, too. But he always did it in a very compassionate way. And I knew that he really meant well and he would be there for me, and if I fell, he would pick me up and help me along. Thankfully, that never happened. And then came along, now I'm telling you about 3 people I really admire, that helped me along in my career. And I must give a lot of credit to Mark Brown, who's now the CEO of Sazerac. And Mark gave me the ability to grow outside of my job description because I think we all know who we work for today. Mm-hmm. Our jobs are very, very defined. And the descriptions are very defined. I kept leaping out of my job description at Sazerac. And I first did it by asking Mark for permission. And without hesitation, he said, sure, whatever you want to do. Today, that would not fly. So anything that I wanted to do, whether we didn't have a national account division at the time. And I started just calling on national accounts. I don't want to say I get bored easy, but I'm always looking for a challenge, Bridget,
Sure.
So I started to do some business with the likes of Chili's, On the Border, Outback Steakhouse, the Palm Steakhouse, Chevy's. And in those days, we had Herradura. That was one of our brands. From that point on, I never had to ask Mark. I just started to take on new roles. I always tell people I wore many, many hats at Sazerac. And I think it really benefited all of us because I would not have the experience that I have in the industry today if it wasn't for me taking those, chances. And so, Mark, wherever you are in Kentucky, thank you very much. I really appreciate you, man. And about a little over 8 years ago, about eight and a half years ago now, I retired. And at the time that I did, a couple of my suppliers wanted me to stay on. And I accepted the roles that I have today, and that's on a consulting basis. I consult today for Siete Leguas globally, and also for an agave nectar here in California and Arizona as well, too.
That's amazing. I mean, you've probably seen so much in your career, and I want to kind of stay with that for just a second here, Dave. Can you tell our listeners some of the positive changes that you've seen in our industry?
Sure, Bridget. First off, when I first got in the wine business, I'm going to use one word, and one word pretty much sums up everything, and it's called education. So when I first got into business, the average American consumer, and I'm here in California, mind you, the Napa Valley and Sonoma are 45 minutes from my home, okay? Even though there was really nice wine being made in California, most people were drinking things like Pink Chablis, Vin Rosé, Annie Green Springs, Boone's Farm, and whatever. So with the help of a lot of people who actually started to pair foods and wines, just educators who, chefs who actually did some dishes with wine, that helped to educate people to start putting table wine in their sort of everyday lives. So the varietals started to help things along. And I don't want to downplay it as a bad thing, but actually White Zinfandel, when it started in the 70s, was very instrumental in changing people's drinking habits to now drinking Sauvignon Blancs, Chardonnays, Merlots, Zinfandels. So that is, one aspect of change. The other change, I think, came from the bar world. There were not mixologists. There were very serious bartenders who thought of bartending as a profession. But to see the transformation of what happened in the on-premise with people, kind of like a Dale DeGroff, a Tony Abou-Ganim, and even Julio Bermejo at Tommy's, to get people to drink really, really good ingredients in cocktails and make it fun, too, at the same time. So I think those are two of the changes, I think, that make the industry what it is today. So you would say also that vodka, before there was a Tito's, pretty much everybody that drank Gilbey's or Gordon's, I mean, that was considered like a premium. And then came along Smirnoff and Kettle One and Grey Goose. And, so people's education and their appreciation for drinking better started to happen. But I also have to give a lot of credit to the bar world as well. People who did the conversations across the bar with patrons. So, as wait staff as well, too. Servers who played a very big role in that. So lots of changes and all for the better.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think we have a much more sophisticated consumer than we have ever had before that have very high expectations when they enter a bar or a restaurant when it comes to flavor, and especially coming out of COVID, where they put their dollar.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah. Can you tell me about how and when you met your partners in the TAG Global Spirit Awards, Mr. Tony Albaganum and Mr. Julio Bermejo. Would love to know the stories behind that.
Yeah. Okay. So when I first went to work for Sazerac in 93, I got a phone call from some salesperson. I can't remember who it was, but he worked at Young's Market at the time. And he said, hey, there's a restaurant that I want you to meet the proprietor. He wants to meet you. So I want to say I was with the company about a month, and I drove over to San Francisco and I met Julio Bermejo, probably November of 1993. And he told me about, his dreams of, building a very serious tequila bar. And he wanted Herradura to be very much a part of that. And shortly after that, I met Tony. And I think the first time I met Tony, he was working in not the Starlight Room, but it was, it's on Fillmore Street in San Francisco. So yeah, that's where we met. And so if I could just expand on the relationship as it built, Julio and I became very, very close friends. As a matter of fact, when he was married, I was the best man at his wedding. And that's called a padrino, okay? So he and Lily. And so I'm very, very close with the family as well, too. And then with Tony, when he first went to work for the Bellagio, he said to me, I remember it like it was yesterday. He said, I think I want to write a book. And I said, well, I think I know a writer who would love to write that book with you. And till today, she's still my girlfriend after all these years. And that's Mary Faulkner. So I put Mary and Tony together to write his books. And, at times, I'm sure they spent a lot of time writing those books, together. And so yeah, we've come a long way and we're very dear friends. And I could say this, that when Tony first approached Julio and I, one day we were in San Francisco, and he basically just dropped it on us. He said, we should own our own spirits competition. We need to do this. So I didn't think much of it. I thought it was a great idea, but years passed, and maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we started to get real serious about it and started putting together all the pieces of the puzzle together. And I have to say, this has been one of the most exciting things that I've been involved with in a long time. And I'm really happy to really be part of it. I'm not afraid to say what my age is. So, should I say that?
Hey, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm 76 years old. Mm-hmm. And, for me, retirement is way, way overrated. And for me to be part of this, it's just fantastic. I am 76, but I'm more like 36. I keep in good shape, and my health is good, knock on wood. And so I'm just real excited to see this thing grow. And because I really feel that we're doing all the right things, and there's the give back that we're doing as well to charities. So
yeah. I had just loved the story of you guys coming together, and you don't look your age, David. I've met you in person many times. My God, I was like a little sticker shock over here when you said,
well,
it's amazing.
I think it has. Well, first off, I have to thank my parents for that, for the genes. But I think if you really are enjoying your life, I think, you grow gracefully, and that's what that's what I hopefully can attribute it to. And having a wonderful girlfriend like Mary, I think helps a lot.
Yeah. Mary's a doll. I love her.
She's super smart. And
yes.
And I have to say one thing, that she's helping me. You can't see it. It's over here. But I ordered something from IKEA, and when it came, I was ready to throw it out. It's all the parts. And she built it in 45 minutes.
Of course she did. But that's IKEA for you. I mean, that's for anybody. I don't like when the IKEA packages come either. So, I tell you, no, too many instructions, too many parts and pieces for sure.
Exactly.
Let's talk a bit about the TAG Awards.
Sure.
I would love to really understand, how the three of you put your heads together to come up with this fantastic platform that you have, because it's completely unique from anything in the Spirits Award category, right?
Sure.
In the world. It is so different, so unique, and it does have things that you all do that others just simply do not. So you offer so much more to the judges and to the consumer as well. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely, Bridget. So we looked at, competitors, okay? And we thought, well, we could do things like them, or we could do things to change things up, okay? So we threw a whole bunch of things sort of on a board because we had a lot of time to prepare for this, okay? So these ideas came about from putting, all these crazy ideas on a board, like getting consumers involved with dinners, with educational platforms. Eventually, we're probably going to include some trips, maybe for aficionados that want to go to Cognac and Armagnac. Okay, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, people do that all the time in other, industries. Mm-hmm. So if we have experts to take aficionados who are very passionate about a certain region or want to learn more about it, why can't we do that? So that's really on the boards, okay, for us. Some of the other things that we're doing is we're really involving suppliers, not just, give us your brand, give us your money, and we'll give you your score, okay? We want you to be part of it. We want you to come and educate our consumers, mingle with our judges, because our judges are coming from 4 continents. So it's beneficial for you to meet somebody who's, very influential, let's say in Singapore. If you ever want to do business in Singapore, you have somebody who is very well connected in that region. So yeah, we want to expand on that as well. This is only our second year. And the first year, I don't want to say I was in shock, but to have it go as smoothly as it did was really, I had to pinch myself seriously. So, and that wouldn't have happened without the help of some of the back of the house people that we have. And some of, people like Andrea, for example, because without Andrea, she's, I think we're all kind of like with those little robots, just bumping into each other, So, it's, there's just so much more that we can do, but everything has its rightful time and place, and we don't want to rush things, but I think the opportunities are there for us to do a lot of really, really great things. And I tried to reach Tony yesterday because I thought of something after speaking with a retailer, which I won't mention. And he's probably going to come to the event this year. He wants to maybe even make a donation to Helen David Relief Fund. And I thought of something that we could potentially do in silent auctions, which we didn't have last year. And I think it would go extremely well. I'm not going to talk about it today because it's not really been approved yet, but I think we'd be very excited about it when you hear about it.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. What I love about the TAG Global Spirit Awards is that you are always evolving. Even though last year was so fantastic, it went so smooth. You're just still growing it, right? Taking that success and then taking it to the next level.
Right.
And that's, what I see happening to somebody really from almost, part of the TAG family, but from the outside as well. And I think every year that we're going to see you guys really add some really cool programming to keep it fresh, keep it exciting. So like you said, so it's not stagnant, right?
Really, I think you guys are going to be very instrumental in giving us those ideas as well, too, because it's not just the 3 of us coming up with these ideas. It's the group. It's everybody who's involved. I mean, I think that's collaboratively. That's the best way and there's nothing that's out of reach. Okay. It may not be the right time and place, but if it's a good idea, we can always definitely entertain something like that, because I think what we want to do is we want to really, separate ourselves from the way this sort of competition has been done, in the past. And we want to build on something that's really, really great where consumers, suppliers, maybe I'll use that word again, education, because I think there's an education factor as well too that plays very much in this. So, and it's a lot of fun. We had a great event up on the 70th floor at Skyfall at the Delano Hotel, and that went off really well. And I got to break out the tuxedo once a year. I used to wear it a lot more, but not that often anymore. And it was just a beautiful evening with a lot of beautiful people having a wonderful time. And then for the three of us to raise that check for $30,000 for the USPG and the Helen David Relief Fund, that was very, very special. We're hoping this year it's going to be more. And we think there's going to be some added elements that help that along as well, too.
Absolutely. And it's such a great party. The pink tie party is amazing. What a great celebration and Absolutely. Such a wonderful, wonderful cause to give that award to. It's just amazing. So I had a great time. I was there. I can't wait to be there again in 2023. Yeah. Can you give our folks, just leave them maybe with one last thought about the TAG Global Spirit Awards, like if they attend, what to expect?
And are you talking about suppliers, consumers, or
everybody? Because everybody listens. So, okay.
So as far as entries, if you have a brand and let's say you entered last year, I think without a doubt, the feedback that we got is we're in again. Okay. Sponsors that were part of it last year are back in. They told us right there on the spot, don't even think about it. I want in next year, and I might even come in a bigger way as well too. Because without them, we need their help as well too, to do these dinners, these educational platforms and such. So for those of the brands that did not enter last year, I urge you to really consider entering TAG. One of the reasons is not only, some of the judges, for starters, are, I think, the most, influential people in their world. They have tremendous backgrounds, and I think we have the best judging panel, on the planet that I've seen. And I've been judging myself in other competitions as well for 25 plus years. I think if you haven't entered your spirits or this year we're taking on seltzers and RTDs. We had a lot of requests for that last year, and we weren't taking them on because we wanted our competition to go very smoothly. So we were hoping not to have any hiccups. And so now that we think we have a better handle on things, and we're adding that extra day in the competition to take on those as well too. Nothing rushing. There's nothing rushed about what we do. Secondly, on a supplier level, I think there's a lot of suppliers that couldn't participate last year due to COVID and just some restrictions that they got corporately, from their headquarters that, we don't want you to participate in any competitions, or we don't want people to fly, you guys are grounded, and budgets were kind of sort of tied up, quite a bit. And so I think that will give us a greater scope to include more suppliers. And same thing with consumers. I remember when we arrived into Las Vegas and we had to go to the hotel when Tony drove down, I forget the name of the street, and we're going into Mandalay Bay, there were no other cars on the road. And when do you ever see that in Las Vegas? I mean, it's like,
yeah, you don't.
It looked like a ghost town.
Right.
And just to think of how many people did attend our dinners. And, but I could say this, that I have friends here that live in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, that want to attend. As a matter of fact, my neighbor just down the street, they're coming. And so, they made it a point. It's like, yeah, I want to be part of this. I want to go to the dinners, blah, blah, blah. I think just by having the ban on travel and what have you lifted, I think it's going to bring a lot more people into appreciating what we're doing. And I think they'll get a lot out of it as well, too. I mean, if you have an opportunity to listen to Livio Loro or Francesco Lafranconi talk about Italian spirits, that right there is worth the price of admission. Or if you go to a dinner and Julio Bermejo is talking about tequila, or Tony talking about vodka, we have just tremendous surrounding of a lot of wonderful experienced people in the industry. And I think consumers have a lot to gain out of it. I can't say that word again. It is a lot of fun. Trust me when I tell you. We had a lot of fun doing what we did. We did it very seriously, but we had a lot of fun as well too. And thank God for some of the suppliers. The Russells that came from Wild Turkey. I mean, those guys were just a delight. I was the host at you were there.
I was there. It was fantastic.
Yeah. And they're just Bruce and his dad they knocked it out of the park. And same thing with the guys from Garrison Brothers. I thought they were wonderful. And they're, again, involved again this year. I know Tony's had a lot of conversations with them. So I'm really looking forward to year 2 and beyond. So I think it can only get greater and greater. So happy to have you involved too.
I'm so happy to be involved as, the executive director of education and judges, and happy to see what goes on behind the scenes. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. I mean, look out for 2023 because we have just a really exciting program for all of you. And we can't wait to see you in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yes. David, I want to just take a minute on behalf of the Served Up family just to thank you so much for being on this show today. I want to wish you thank you. And I want to wish you great health and just a whole lot of peace, brother. Thank you very much for being on Served Up, and cheers to you. Cheers to the TAG Global Spirit Awards. I am just so excited to see the program for 2023.
Bridget, you're awesome.
Hey, Served Up friends, Julie here. I am thrilled to tell you about the 15th annual Food Network New York City Wine and Food Festival taking place soon, October 13th through the 16th. For its 15th year, Food Network personalities and more than 400 chefs, mixologists, and wine and spirit producers will come together to create an unforgettable Epicurean experience comprised of tastings, dinners, parties, brunches, lunches, master classes, and more. 100% of the net proceeds from New York City Wine and Food Festival go to God's Love, We Deliver. God's Love, We Deliver is New York City's leading provider of medically tailored meals and nutrition counseling for individuals living with severe illnesses. To date, New York City Wine and Food Festival has raised more than $14 million for its charitable causes. The festival provides a platform for the charity, which has a presence at events through activations and speaking opportunities that help strengthen existing relationships in the food, beverage, and hospitality industry, and also create new ones from on-site interactions. We are so excited to share that the Served Up crew will also be on the ground, bringing you the behind-the-scenes action at the festival. We hope you join us to eat, drink, and feed New York City by purchasing tickets on sale now at www.nycwff.org. And don't forget to follow at Served Up Podcast on all your favorite platforms. And if you're a long-term listener, please leave a review. Cheers. Thanks for listening. Served Up is brought to you by Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. Produced by Zunu.online. Music by We Killed the Lion can be found on Spotify. Make sure to subscribe to be notified of future Served Up episodes. Cheers!